At the age of 8, I was abducted by human traffickers while trying to save my childhood friend. 10 years later, when I returned, my childhood friend had by his side a fake heiress who bore a 70% resemblance to me. She openly walked into my home, hugging my parents with great affection. Later, I stumbled upon the fake heiress calling the human traffickers mom and dad, discussing plans to abduct me once again, in a moment of desperation. The fake heiress ran me over with her car and killed me, and my childhood sweetheart helped her cover up the crime, throwing my body into the sea. When I opened my eyes again, I had gone back to the time when the traffickers were about to kidnap my childhood sweetheart. I thought it over carefully. There seemed to be a little boy in the orphanage nearby who looked quite similar to my childhood sweetheart. 1. Young man, my foot is sprained. Could you take me to the hospital? Ouch, I can't move. I really can't move. Yang Xiao, being a warm-hearted person, couldn't just walk away upon hearing this. Granny, isn't your family around? Can you not walk anymore? Come on, I'll carry you. TSK, look at that. So helpful. Who wouldn't label Yang Xiao as a good person after witnessing this scene? But how could such a warm-hearted and handsome young man just stand by and watch me get kidnapped by human traffickers in my previous life without doing anything? Yang Xiao carried the old woman on his back and headed towards the roadside. As he walked, he turned back and urged me, "Nij, hurry up, aren't you coming?" At 8 years old, Yang Xiao was still thin and small, and carrying the old woman was a bit of a struggle for him. He adjusted his grip. Lifting her a little higher, I let out an "oh," then stopped in my tracks. My stomach suddenly hurt so bad. "You go ahead first, I'll catch up with you later." After saying that, I immediately ran off in the opposite direction. But since heaven gave me a second chance, how could I miss such a satisfying scene? Following the memories from my past life, I first ran into a building. That spot just happened to overlook the alley where I had been abducted in my previous life. The hospital wasn't far away, and there were still quite a few people on the road, but the sky was already growing dim. Yang Xiao carried the old woman on his back for quite a while before slowly making his way over. "Granny, why don't you try walking for a bit? You're really heavy." The old woman didn't answer, but instead pulled a handkerchief from her pocket. In my previous life, when I realized something was wrong, I immediately snatched the handkerchief and threw it on the ground, then grabbed Yang Xiao and ran. However, my actions angered the human trafficker hiding in the shadows. The other two instantly rushed out to grab us. Finally, he managed to escape, and I became the only victim. This time, I stood by the window in the corridor, coldly watching everything unfold below. The cloth was pressed against Yang Xiao's nose. But he reacted quickly and immediately threw the old woman off his back. He staggered a couple of steps, held his head with a fierce expression, muttered a few words, and then tried to run. It seemed he had also realized something was wrong. But escaping was not going to be that easy. 2 men blocked his path from the front and back, and in no time, they lifted him up by the waist. When I faintly heard a few cries for help, I slowly curved the corners of my lips. Downstairs, Yang Xiao struggled and looked in my direction. As our eyes met, I smiled and waved at him. "Help, Nij, save me quickly, save him." In my previous life, I saved him, but I died, too. I deliberately wandered around outside for an extra hour before returning in tears. But when my parents saw me crying, they didn't seem to care much. He just said, "Did you get into another fight with Yang Xiao? I've told you so many times. A girl should act like a girl." I got tired of hearing it and burst into even louder sobs. "Dad, Mom, has Yang Xiao come home? I can't find him." This sentence made my mom so shocked that she dropped her phone on the floor. "What, didn't you two go out together? Quick, come with me to check next door." My parents hurriedly pulled me to the Yang family's house, and as soon as we entered, they asked, "Is Yang Xiao here? Mother-in-law, have you lost your mind?" Yang Xiao went out to play with Jixi. Yang Xiao and I grew up together since childhood. We are genuine childhood sweethearts. So both sets of parents often joke with each other, referring to one another as in-laws, but seeing me cry so hard that my tonsils were almost visible, his parents also became anxious. "Jixi, why are you alone?" "Where is Yang Xiao?" I cried and said, "He went to take an elderly woman to the hospital." I had a stomachache and ran to the restroom, but later I searched for him at the hospital for a long time and couldn't find him or that elderly woman. His parents staggered, grabbed their coats, and rushed out. My parents followed closely behind, saying, "Don't worry too much, maybe the child got distracted playing and forgot the time. We'll go with you to look, don't you know the police chief? Hurry and report it to check the surveillance footage." To make the act convincing, I deliberately went home wailing loudly. As soon as I entered the house, I immediately wiped away my tears with an expressionless face. This is why I stayed out for an hour before returning home. Both of our families have a bit of money and resources. What if they check the surveillance and actually manage to rescue Yang Qing? I at least need to help the traffickers by enough time to leave the city, otherwise. How can I plan what comes next? 3. The desperate and shocked look in Yang Xiao's eyes when he was taken away was exactly the same as mine in my previous life. In my previous life, because of my sudden intrusion, the traffickers found it difficult to capture both of us. We desperately ran toward the light at the end of the alley, and just as we were about to be caught, Yang Xiao pushed me. I fell hard. I begged him desperately to pull me up. "Yang Xiao, please pull me up, I'm begging you. Once we get out of this alley, it's a busy street, and both of us can safely go home." The human trafficker was getting closer, and I stretched out my hand to Yang Xiao almost pleadingly, but Yang Xiao glanced behind me, gritted his teeth, and ran off alone without looking back. Yang Xiao. I was so scared that I burst into tears, scrambling forward on all fours, but in the end, the human trafficker grabbed my leg and dragged me back. At that time, I naively believed that Yang Xiao would find someone to come back and save me after he escaped, but until I was brutally assaulted by those two beastly human traffickers in the alley for over half an hour, Yang Xiao still hadn't returned with anyone. "You damn girl, minding other people's business. Originally, we didn't even care about a little girl like you. You had to talk too much. You had to be a busybody. How does it feel now, enjoying it?" At 8 years old, the pain made me faint several times, and I could only feel the two men taking turns slapping me. "Yang Xiao, why, if you had just given me a hand, we both could have escaped. Even if you had brought people back to look for me, I wouldn't have ended up like this." Later, I was sold to a remote, desolate mountain area and endured 10 years of hardship before I finally returned home. But when I returned home, there was suddenly a girl who looked quite similar to me. She walked into my house openly, hugging my parents affectionately. Just as I hesitated to step forward, she exclaimed in surprise, "Dad, Mom, Brother Xiao, this sister smells so bad. Could she have some kind of dirty disease?" With an innocent expression, she uttered the most malicious words. Just like that, my parents, who had been overjoyed at having me back, suddenly changed their attitude toward me, and Yang Xiao despised me even more. I thought that as long as I treated them well, they would eventually accept me, but I never expected to hear their cold voices saying, "If you had died out there, you would have remained the white moonlight in everyone's hearts. Why did you have to come back and disgust us?" Later, I caught the fake heiress calling that pair of human traffickers Mom and Dad, and Shang Qiu was once again scheming to kidnap me. In a panic, the fake heiress drove her car and killed me, and Yang Xiao even helped her cover up the crime, throwing my body into the sea. If he is so heartless and ungrateful, then it shouldn't be a problem for me to stand by and do nothing, right? Fortunes change with the turning of the wheel. It's time for him to experience what it's like to be in the mountains, where everyone is eyeing you with predatory intent. Speaking of which, Yang Xiao is handsome and falls into the category of being clean-cut and slender. Those desperate old men like this type the most. 4. They searched all night before returning. As soon as I pushed open the door, my strict father and mother grabbed my arm and asked, "Gee, think carefully again. What did the person who wanted Yang Xiao to carry them look like? Draw it for Auntie." She pinched my arm and shook it forcefully. "Draw it for me." I was stunned for a moment, then immediately pouted and started crying out of fear. I don't remember either. I had a stomachache and was in a hurry to go to the bathroom. "Dad, Mom, has Yang Xiao been found?" The more heartbroken I appeared to be crying at that moment, the happier I actually felt inside. Judging by the situation in my previous life, Yang Xiao should have already entered the mountains by now. My parents wiped away my tears, then looked at Yang's father and mother as if they wanted to say something but hesitated. In the end, they shook their heads. All four parents sat on the sofa with dazed expressions, Yang's father and mother looking like puppets who had lost their souls. Only when the phone rings does a glimmer of light appear in their eyes. Have they found him? Seeing how sad they looked, I couldn't help but feel a trace of mockery flash in my eyes. It's just a lost child. It's okay, it will get better after a while. In my previous life, Yang Xiao brought a foster daughter back for my parents, so in this life, I will naturally help his parents overcome their grief as well. I stroked my chin and pondered seriously. There seems to be a little boy in the nearby orphanage who looks quite similar to Yang Xiao. By the time he returns, there will already be a nearly perfect fake young master raised in his family. Should be happy. Right. 5. Half a month has passed, and the Yang family has used all their connections but still hasn't found Yang Xiao. Yang's father and mother are immersed in grief every day and have lost a lot of weight over the past half month. I feel heartache watching them and go next door to accompany them every day. Uncle, Aunt, I'm sorry, if I hadn't gone to the bathroom back then, would Yang Xiao not have gone missing? If I had known that person was a human trafficker, I would have desperately tried to stop him from doing a good deed. I said this on purpose to find a topic to talk about. Yang's father and mother looked at me, opening their mouths to speak, but tears fell before any words came out. After my persistent efforts, another week passed, and they finally accepted the fact. Silly child, how could we blame you? You were right not to go. If you had gone, I'm afraid you would have. It's all your uncle's and my fault. We only taught him to be helpful but forgot that there are despicable human traffickers in this world. As they spoke, the two of them hugged each other and burst into tears again. I've been with them for almost a month now, and I've long grown accustomed to the scene before me. Seeing them cry, I quietly went to the kitchen and made them some simple plain kanji. After they finished crying, I brought it out. Uncle, Auntie, please have something to eat. What if there's news about Yang Xiao? You'll need your strength when that time comes. With my persuasion, they were able to eat a little, day after day. I gradually integrated into their family in a subtle and gentle way, allowing them to see me as someone to confide in and as an emotional support, until the day I intentionally didn't go, and they eagerly came to my home to find me. I knew I had succeeded. After calming their emotions, I suggested, Uncle, Auntie, how about I accompany you for a walk in the nearby park? I've been staying at home for so long, I'm going to go crazy. Alright, Gigi, I'll listen to you. I curled the corners of my lips and slowly said okay. 6. I accompanied them as we strolled around the park, seemingly without any purpose. Mother Yang held my hand tightly as we walked, telling me stories about Yang Xiao from his childhood. Yang Xiao was born in the same year, same month, and on the same day as you. And we lived next door to each other. We always felt that the two of you were destined to be connected. Gigi, do you know what Yang Xiao's comfort object is? I pretended to be interested and asked, what? A guy as old as Yang Xiao actually still has a comfort object. A flicker of a smile crossed the stern mother's eyes, but it was soon replaced by that tinge of sorrow. It's rather amusing. But his security blanket is actually the burp cloth you used during your postpartum month. Somehow he found it, and ever since then, he has to hold it every night to fall asleep. Yang Xiao, you are his absolute favorite. I remained silent. Do you like me? If you like me, why did you stand by and do nothing when I was in danger in our previous life? If you like me, why did that fake daughter who came later take my place? Just as I was thinking, the stern father and mother suddenly stopped in their tracks. Yang Xiao. They let go of my hands and ran together toward the boy sitting on the bench not far away. Yang Xiao, why haven't you gone home? Child, your parents are worried sick. Wah. Yang Xiao, are you trying to scare us to death? The boy, held tightly, was overwhelmed by their enthusiasm and didn't know how to react. I simply nodded at him. This was exactly why I brought them to this park. Ku Wang, the boy from the orphanage, he bears an 80% resemblance to Yang Xiao, and with this face, along with the habits and behaviors of Yang Xiao that I taught him, it's enough for him to live in the Yang family. 7. When Yang's father and mother discovered that Ku Wang was not Yang Xiao, they were deeply disappointed. But I was there, uncle, auntie, don't you think this is fate? He really resembles Yang Xiao so much. But, brother, where do you live? How come I've never seen you before? Can we play together often from now on? Ku Wang lowered his head and whispered, I'm an orphan from the orphanage. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the stern father and mother's eyes light up. I then promptly offered a way out. Uncle, auntie, this is simply fate. How incredible. We've been so close to the orphanage and never encountered him. But Yang Xiao just now, uncle, aunt, would you like? How could they refuse? Desperate people will cling to anything they see. There aren't many people who look like their own son. In the end, they still brought Kuang back to the Yang family and gave him the name Yang Qing. The next day, Yang Qing came to me. After a long silence, he finally asked, why are you helping me so much? How did you know they would definitely take me in? I try my best to appear as if I have no ulterior motives, because the original son of the uncle and aunt was taken away by human traffickers, and you look so much like him. I hope you study hard and don't let the uncle and aunt down. As long as he behaves well and doesn't cause trouble, he will become a member of the Yang family in the future. By then, his life would undergo a dramatic change. Just like that fake heiress, I'm so looking forward to it, wishing time would pass faster. I wonder what expression Yang Xiao will have when he returns 10 years later and finds someone has taken his place at home. 8. With Yang Qing around, the grief of Yang's parents seemed to have found a place to settle. He is a well-behaved and sensible person, and within 2 weeks of arriving home, he basically won them over. He even brought Yang Qing to my house for gatherings. My mother looked at Yang Qing with a smile. This child is really good, it's just a pity that he's an orphan. Meeting you all is his good fortune. Yang Qing seems to be about the same age as our Jiji. Where did he go to school before? After asking, the uncle and aunt looked at me. Your uncle and I were just thinking of discussing this with you today. We want to transfer Yanqing to your prestigious school. Since he's just transferred, we're worried he might not adjust well. How about having him in the same class as you? Could you help look after him for us? I agreed without hesitation. Of course, this way, I'll have more time to interact with Yang Qing. The next day, Yang Qing came to our class. It's just that the circle is only so big. And almost everyone knows that Yang Qing is the adopted son of the Yang family. Children from wealthy families have always been good at sizing people up. They began to test Yang Qing intentionally or unintentionally. And as soon as they saw he hadn't yet established himself in the Yang family, they started to exclude and bully him. I saw all of this but did nothing about it. It wasn't until a week later that I stepped forward when Yang Qing was being bullied. After all, only after being bullied and then saved would Yang Qing feel grateful to me. After school, he was cornered again, and I squeezed in from behind. Then, pretending not to understand their bullying, I said, Yang Qing, why are you still playing around here? Didn't your aunt and uncle sign you up for tutoring classes so you could help share their worries sooner? Yang Qing blinked, still looking a bit confused for a moment. Fortunately, he's not a fool. He knew I was deliberately saying it for these people to hear and didn't expose me. Everyone else was stunned. Jiji, are you serious? The Yang family is planning to hand over the company to this adopted son. I tilted my head and said with a smile. What else can we do? Yang Xiao has already disappeared, and now Uncle Yang only has this one son left. If he doesn't give it to Yang Qing, who else can he give it to? Everyone exchanged glances and instinctively made way for us. See you tomorrow, Yang Qing and I walked side by side, remaining silent the entire way. It wasn't until we were almost home that he said, "Thank you for today." Before I could say "You're welcome," he added, "I know you were helping me out of a tight spot, don't worry. I won't covet what doesn't belong to me. I went through so much trouble to bring him in, not to have him be this harmless." 9. I stopped walking and turned to look at him. Why aren't you thinking about it? Yang Qing seemed stunned by my question, his mouth hanging open as he struggled to find words. I looked at him seriously. The opportunity is right in front of you, and you still don't know how to cherish it. Do you want to keep being bullied forever? Yang Qing frowned, a flicker of complex emotion passing through his beautiful eyes. I averted my gaze. He and Yang Xiao were just too similar. But I'm the adopted son. Yang Xiao will come back sooner or later. What's wrong with being an adopted child? I retorted, What they care about isn't whether you're biological or adopted. Only whether you can benefit the family is what matters most to them. Besides, what does affection even matter? Before I turned 8, my parents doted on me exclusively, practically holding me up to the heavens. But 10 years later, when I returned in such a sorry state, didn't they still stand by the fake daughter and cast me aside like a worn-out shoe? They looked down on me for being dark-skinned and thin, thinking I was an embarrassment. They were ashamed that I had completely forgotten all the social etiquette I had learned before, afraid I would make them a laughingstock if I went out with them, and at a dinner with more than 20 people. Just because my chopsticks fell on the floor, my father publicly told me to get out. But Mom and Dad, for the past 10 years, I have been bound hand and foot with ropes, and when I ate, I had to bury my face in the bowl. If I didn't eat, I would starve to death. For me, so-called etiquette was the first thing I discarded. It was already hard enough just to make it back alive. Feelings will fade, whether to seize this opportunity is up to you. After saying that, I went home first, in this lifetime. I will only focus on benefits. 10. It was probably because of what I said to Yang Qing that had an effect. He truly looks more and more like a rich second generation every day. Whenever he's unsure about something, he comes to ask me, and he no longer acts timidly around anyone. Over the years, besides learning golf, shooting, equestrian, and piano, he has also studied finance and business management extensively. He has grown into someone even more outstanding than the real Yang Xiao. After he secured another project for the Yang family, I waited for him outside the conference room. As soon as he stepped out, another bouquet of flowers was placed in his arms. Another big deal secured. Congratulations. Yang Qing held the flowers in one hand and naturally took my bag with the other. Stop teasing me. Future richest woman. Let's go home. I smiled without saying a word. Over the years, while Yang Qing has proven herself in various fields, I haven't fallen behind either. By the way, the college entrance exam is coming up soon. Which university do you want to attend? Without hesitation, I replied, University A in this city. Yang Qing looked at me. What a coincidence. So am I. Gazing at the receding night scenery outside the window, I slowly curved the corners of my lips. Almost 10 years have passed. I have been continuously working on improving myself, gradually taking over connections, resources, and the family business from my parents, and Uncle Yang gradually had Yang Qing take over the family business in addition to his studies. Although he was young, he excelled at every task. As a result, everyone in their circle knew that the Yang family had turned a misfortune into a blessing by adopting a talented and hardworking son. Coupled with his outstanding appearance and tall stature, this guy even unexpectedly became popular online. Although he had no intention of making a living from the internet, he gained 10 million followers with just a bare account that had no content. Calculating the time, Yang Xiao should be back soon. But no matter what, Yang Qing had more than one way out. Besides, it's still uncertain which side strict father and strict mother will favor then. I must stay in the local area to conveniently watch this grand drama unfold. 11. On the day the college entrance exam ended, Uncle Yang's family and my parents took us out to celebrate. Everyone was so overjoyed they couldn't stop smiling. And not a trace of gloom could be seen on strict father and strict mother's faces. We didn't go home until after midnight. Uncle, Auntie, see you tomorrow. We waved and said goodnight, but as soon as the words left our mouths, a sinister voice came from not far away. Who is he? Strict father and strict mother answered without hesitation. Yang Qing, our son. Under the streetlight, a person in slightly tattered clothes stomped their feet in frustration and roared, If he is your son, then what am I? Everyone was stunned. And the items in strict father and strict mother's hands fell to the ground. My parents looked at each other. Their hands that were about to open the door silently withdrew. Only I couldn't help but laugh. After waiting for so long, you've finally come back. When I saw the girl beside her, my hand hanging by my side suddenly clenched tightly. Ni Yuan, the adopted daughter of my parents in my previous life, was afraid that her status would be threatened because I returned home. So she repeatedly framed me and eventually killed me by hitting me with a car. The fake heiress, I would recognize her even if she turned to ashes. Yang Xiao ran forward like a madman, looking at Yang Qing, and roared loudly, questioning, "I was lost, not dead. Do you even have me, your son, in your hearts at all? I was eating pig shit in that godforsaken place while you were all having fun at home, and you even found someone to replace me." Strict father and strict mother were so stunned they couldn't snap out of it. To be fair, it wasn't really their fault. Yang Xiao had completely changed his appearance now. His hair was greasy and matted together, and there was a scar on his dark, grimy face. His neck was dirty, clearly covered in grime, looking just like a black wheel. "Speak, say something. I'm back, I'm the child of this family. Get this man out of here." As he spoke, Yang Xiao began to push and shove Yang Qing. At this point, Yang's father and mother finally snapped out of it. They instinctively shielded Yang Qing behind them. "Xiao, Xiao, why are you back?" Yang Xiao's eyes reddened as he let out an angry laugh. "Shouldn't I be back? Fine. Then I'll leave." At that moment, Ni Yuan, who had been silent all along, grabbed Yang Xiao's arm. "Uncle, auntie, Yang Xiao has suffered greatly during these years of being trafficked. It's only natural for him to feel heartbroken seeing such a scene upon returning home. Just look at the scars on his body, and you'll know how much hardship he has endured." Yang Xiao's stomach and back were covered with scars, one after another. "I know all too well where these scars came from. They were simply from being whipped. Disobey and you'll be beaten. Resist and you'll be beaten. Try to escape and you'll be beaten even harder." Yang Mu's tears instantly fell. She wanted to hug Yang Xiao, but her outstretched hand never landed. "It's good that you're back. Let's go home first. You can take a bath and relax. By the way, look at Gigi. It's been a full 10 years since you last saw her, and she's become more and more beautiful." Before he could finish his sentence, Yang Xiao gritted his teeth and lunged at me. 12. I deliberately didn't dodge, but Yang Qing held me and avoided Yang Xiao's attack. "Nig, how dare a lowly person like you deserve to live in this world? You should die. I'm going to kill you." Everyone was frightened by his behavior. I also pretended to be pitiful and innocent, trembling as I hid behind my parents. "Yang Xiao, why do you say such vicious things to me as soon as you come back?" "Of course, I know why. Back then, I also watched helplessly as he was taken away." Yang Xiao pointed at my nose and cursed me, saying I would die a miserable death, that I was worse than a pig or a dog, saying that the reason he was abducted was all because of me. I didn't utter a single word in my defense. I just looked at him with a stunned and hurt expression the entire time. Just like in my previous life, no one believed me. Now, no one believes him either. During the time he was away, I almost became like a half-daughter to the Yang family. Who would believe his nonsense? Sure enough, seeing that he couldn't persuade Yang Xiao, his strict father kicked over the nearby trash can and then pointed at him, shouting angrily, "Stop acting crazy here. We checked the surveillance footage back then. You were the one who got tricked because you didn't use your brain. What does it have to do with Gigi? Hurry up and go home." Yang Xiao still wanted to say something, but his father cut in. "If you don't come back, then get out. From now on, I'll act as if I never had a son." Finally, Ni Yuan gently nudged Yang Xiao's arm. Only then did he relent. "Fine, I'll go home. But this is Xiao Yan, my girlfriend. She has to come with me." And so, the whole farce came to an end. It was just that Ni Yuan glanced back at me before entering the door, the seething hatred in her eyes leaving me bewildered. If anyone should hate, it should be me hating her. Could it be that she has also been reborn? 13. The next day, Yang Qing and I made plans to work together on the preparations for the art exhibition. After thinking for a moment, I deliberately went next door. "Uncle, Auntie Tilda, how is Yang Xiao doing?" As soon as Yang Xiao, who was eating, heard my voice, he slammed his chopsticks on the ground. "Dad, I already said last night, from now on we need to draw a clear line with the neighbors." The strict father looked at him helplessly, while the strict mother quickly stood up and pulled me inside. "Don't listen to his nonsense. He just got back and is feeling agitated." "Who's feeling agitated?" Yang Xiao slammed the table and stood up, taking 2 steps to stand in front of me. In his previous life, he grew to about 185 centimeters, which was quite tall. But this time, perhaps due to malnutrition, I can stand as tall as him even when wearing high heels. Nig, stop putting on airs at our house. Get out right now. His strict father and mother were about to stop him, but the fake heiress from his previous life, now Xiao Yan in this life, stepped in first to hold them back. Uncle, aunt, please listen to what Yang Xiao has to say. Nig, I really don't know how I've offended you. Do you have any idea what kind of life I've been living these years? Those bastards simply, perhaps recalling something painful, Yang Xiao's lips began to tremble halfway through his sentence. But now I'm back. This is my home, not yours and that pretty boy's home. I am the biological son of the Yang family, the heir to the Yang family's estate. None of you are allowed to covet what's mine. I glanced at Mr. and Mrs. Yang, then nodded along with his words as if humoring a child. All right. You're absolutely right. Yang Qing, it's getting late. Let's head out now. Where are you going? Yang Xiao blocked our path. I deliberately looked at Yang Qing with admiration. To attend the press conference for the project that Yang Qing and I are both involved in. By the way, didn't you used to enjoy accompanying your uncle and aunt to these kinds of events? Do you want to come with us this time? Yang Xiao's face instantly flushed red with anger. Oh, right, I forgot. Even with the best platform, if you leave for 10 years, it's hard to come back. I smiled and waved to the strict father and mother. Uncle, auntie, we're leaving now. 14. After we went out, Xiao Yan actually followed us. Yang Qing went to wait for me in the car first, while Xiao Yan began to probe me. I heard you and Yang Xiao are childhood sweethearts, and you were also there when he was abducted back then. Then how did you manage to escape? Looking at her feigned innocence, I covered my nose and took half a step back. It smells so bad. Did you not wash properly when you showered last night? It reeks of a fishy odor. Could it be that you have some kind of dirty disease? These were the words she said to me the first time we met in my previous life. We stared at each other, the hatred that was no longer concealed bursting forth from our eyes. As expected, you wretched woman have also been reborn. I chuckled coldly twice. This is what you call heaven's mercy. Especially allowing me to come back to deal with you two murderers. Xiao Yan curled her lips into a cold sneer as she looked at me. So what if you've been reborn? You're still no match for me. In this lifetime, I'm going to crush you with my car, then throw you into the gutter to feed the stinking fish and rotten shrimp. By then, your parents will still treat me as their own daughter. I glanced sideways at her and suddenly smiled. Did she think I had done nothing these past 10 years? Now, I'm afraid it's not that I can't live without them, but that they can't live without me. What are you laughing at? I glanced her up and down and said calmly. I just think that without my family's money being spent on you, you look really ordinary. Do you think Yang Xiao would still treat you the same if he found out your parents were human traffickers? Her pupils suddenly contracted in fear, and I strode away to get into the Mercedes-Benz parked nearby. Yang Qing handed me a bottle of water and said, "You seem to really dislike the two of them." Yes, I am not hiding anything. If you want to stay here, you have to be hostile towards them. Just like me, after waiting for so many years, isn't this moment exactly what I've been waiting for? Yang Qing looked ahead as he started the car and calmly said, "Okay, 15. The press conference was actually nothing serious. I just used it as an excuse to deliberately provoke them." After things settled down a bit, Yang Qing and I found a coffee shop to sit in. But as we sat there, I saw one of the Yang family's cars drive past on the street. Could that be Yang Xiao? Let's follow and see. The car stopped at the hospital entrance, and sure enough, it was Yang Xiao, and he didn't bring Xiao Yan along. He's being so mysterious. And as soon as he entered, he went straight to the proctology department. Yang Qing was puzzled. What is he doing here? I, on the other hand, smiled meaningfully. It's impossible that he came to the hospital alone to get his hemorrhoids checked. It seems Yang Xiao has been through a lot over the years. Yang Xiao stayed in the proctology department all day long. And before leaving, he kept insisting that he had something to do and couldn't be hospitalized. After he left, I had Yang Qing use his face, which resembles Yang Xiao's, to deceive the doctor. What happened? Yang Qing's expression was somewhat complicated. Speak, what on earth is going on? Yang Qing took out a photo to show me. It was a scan Yang Xiao had just taken. clearly showing a round light bulb and a beer bottle inside the abdominal cavity, even though I was mentally prepared. I was still utterly shocked. Wow, this experience is far more eventful than my previous life. 16. Yang Qing's 18th birthday is just a few days away, although the atmosphere in the Yang family has been somewhat awkward these days. Yang's father and mother are still meticulously preparing for his coming-of-age ceremony. Yang Xiao has been causing trouble all along. When I returned home, you didn't even hold a welcome party for me. Now, just because an adopted son is turning 18. You're making such a big deal out of his coming-of-age ceremony. Mom, Dad, have you gone senile? I'm your biological son. I stood by watching, putting on an innocent face and said, but brother Yanqing not only won various competitions, but also participated in company projects early on, bringing a lot of honor to the family. And this birthday banquet isn't just for him. Many people will be coming. Adult parties are essentially business occasions anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Yang looked at Yanqing and me with approving eyes. Their gazes, however, subtly shifted to Yang Xiao, and they let out faint, almost imperceptible sighs. Your father and I have told you many times, if you can just rein in your temper a bit. We'll immediately hold a banquet for you and arrange for you to study abroad, even that girlfriend of yours can. Before the words were fully spoken, Yang Xiao abruptly stood up again. What do you mean? You want to send me away and hand the company over to this pretty boy? I'm telling you, it's impossible. The family business must be given to me. Or I'd rather destroy it than let you hand it over to an outsider. If I'm not doing well, no one else will. Did anyone think of me when I was suffering outside? No, you're here raising someone else's son and thinking you're enjoying family happiness. How foolish, what a stupid move. Upon hearing this, the strict father finally couldn't hold back any longer. He slammed the teacup in his hand onto the ground. If you keep spewing nonsense, get the hell back to where you came from. Yang Xiao was so angry that he was trembling all over. In the end, Xiao Yan dragged him out. I comforted Yang's father before heading home, only to run into those two playing with crickets on the street. Such a great opportunity. How could I not go over and provoke them? Already angry. Yang Xiao, no offense, but you're really becoming more and more narrow-minded. Yang Xiao still wanted to fight me. While Xiao Yan watched coldly from the side, I stood firmly in place without dodging and simply said, if you hit me, all of the Yang family's shares will go to Yang Qing. What do you mean by that? I looked at them with a smile. You have no idea. Yang Qing is just too outstanding. He has been in this family for 10 years now, and my uncle and aunt already signed the documents to give him 10% of the shares, which will take effect on his 18th birthday. That was the first time I had ever seen someone so angry that their eyes seemed to spit fire. After the coming-of-age ceremony at 18, Yang Qing will officially become a shareholder. Yang Xiao gritted his teeth and said, "This is absolutely outrageous." 17. Many people came on the day of the coming-of-age ceremony. As the protagonist of the day, Yang Qing was shining brilliantly. He followed his strict father and mother to chat with the guests. After 10 years of influence, he had long been at ease with such occasions. Just as the cake was being cut, Yang Xiao suddenly opened a bottle of champagne and sprayed it directly at Yang Qing on the stage. The champagne splashed equally on everyone, causing screams of surprise throughout the venue. Yang Qing's carefully styled hair was now wet and plastered to his forehead, with a few drops of champagne trickling down his cheeks. Yang's parents were also startled, but it was too late to stop him. Why are we celebrating this outsider's birthday? Why are you introducing him to so many people? Yang Xiao yelled from behind, still unsatisfied, then rushed onto the stage and snatched the microphone. Open your eyes and see clearly. I am the legitimate heir of this family. That imposter, I'll kill him sooner or later. Before he could continue his madness, the strict father rushed forward and slapped him. Shut up, I'm sorry, everyone. Yang Xiao has a problem with his brain. He's crazy. Ah, Yang Xiao. How dare you hit your own father? The father and son started fighting right in front of everyone. Scaring the guests away, I helped Yang Qing wipe the wine stains off his face. This is the best birthday gift I could give you. From now on, Yang Qing would no longer pose any threat. The corners of Yang Qing's lips lifted slightly, but just as he was about to answer me, his brows furrowed again. He quickly pulled me behind him, then raised his leg and kicked out. Only then did I realize that Xiao Yan was charging at me with a knife. Even after being kicked to the ground, she kept shouting defiantly, "Again, again." Yang Qing frowned and said, "Is she mentally ill?" Of course I know what it means to do this again. Unfortunately, she will never have the chance again in this lifetime. 18. Yang Fu and Yang Xiao had a complete falling out. They severed their father-son relationship, and Yang Xiao was driven out of the house. At the same time, I had a journalist expose Yang Xiao's film. Instantly, the topic about Yang Xiao went viral across the internet. No, I'm just curious about how this guy managed to hit someone while having a foreign object inside his body. But guy, no, that's not it. I just slipped while showering and accidentally sat on it. He might have truly lost his mind. Overwhelming negative comments can quickly drown a person. A few days later, I received a text message from Yang Xiao, the usual place. "Do you dare to come?" It took me a long time to recall where the old place he mentioned was. That evening, I gladly went to the appointment, but I was already prepared when that car charged toward me again. Before it could reach me, 2 of its tires burst, and it crashed into a large tree nearby. I watched them getting hurt one after another with a cold gaze. Would I fall in the same place twice? Yang Xiao had a gash on his head, and blood covered his face. He glared at me fiercely. "Why on earth are you doing this to me?" I laughed. "I'm just treating you the way you've been treating me." Faintly, I caught a whiff of gasoline. Seeing the gasoline slowly spreading on the ground, I cut to the chase. "You've been stuck in a place called Huangdigu Village all these years, unable to escape, right?" A flicker of surprise passed through Yang Xiao's eyes. "How did you know?" I curled the corner of my lips. "I also know that your girlfriend's parents are human traffickers." Yang Xiao didn't believe it, so I smiled and tossed him a video. It was Xiao Yan who affectionately called the traffickers mom and dad, and even gave them plenty of ideas on how to abuse Yang Xiao. As for how I obtained this video, of course, after I was reborn, I secretly sent someone to the trafficker's house early on to install hidden cameras. Xiao Yan also saw the content of the video and screamed while shaking her head. "No, it's not true." Yang Xiao was furious. "I'll kill you, you bitch." I turned around and walked away quickly. Let the fire cleanse this pair of scum. 19. Upon hearing the news of Yan Xiao's death, his parents weren't as heartbroken as one might have expected. Instead, it felt like a weight had been lifted. However, the strict father was also badly beaten, and coupled with the psychological blow, he seemed to have aged 10 years. Yang Qing also smoothly became the sole heir. My parents were at home watching TV and sighing over the series of events that had happened to the Yang family. Is there some kind of story behind their family? There have been way too many things happening lately. If you ask me, we should find someone to help get rid of the bad luck. I sneered and reached out to turn off the TV. You. When I met my parents' gaze, I pulled out 2 plane tickets and said slowly, "The elders next door have all stepped down. You should go abroad to enjoy your retirement years too. Nig, have you grown too big for your britches?" I stood up with a smile, then shook the small medicine bottle in my hand. "Dad, your heart hasn't been feeling well lately, and all the special medicine has been coming from me." In reality, there was no special medicine at all. It was just vitamins. The reason he thought it worked was simply because on the days he took the medicine, I didn't poison him. My dad was instantly caught by the throat. He slumped back onto the sofa. Fine. The child has grown up and is starting to scheme for power and usurp the throne." I went straight upstairs. In my previous life, they listened to the fake heiress's instigation and distanced themselves from me. Letting them retire abroad was already an act of mercy on my part. The next morning, as I was leaving for the company, I happened to run into Yang Qing at the door, who was also about to head out. He tilted his chin toward me. "Let's go." I curved my lips into a smile and got into his car. "Let's go. Our battlefield has only just begun." The end.